I am excited to introduce to you guys our next host of Excuse Me, That's Illegal, Leroy Luna. Hello.
How you doing, everybody? Thanks for having me.
We're good.
Wait,
We're
is that
excited.
you and your dog in the background?
That's probably my chair or my kids. Sorry. I don't know. One of the two. Oh, you mean the picture back there? There's a picture of myself. That's a picture of me.
There's no dog in it? What's at the bottom? Is it on your shirt? No, the shirt in your picture.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my brother has a podcast too called Dark Topic, so I like to represent.
Oh, that's sweet.
Oh, nice.
That's sweet. Rep that brother.
Well, we are excited to have you, buddy. We've been checking out your podcast. I did not know what to expect going into your podcast, and it is hilarious. It is really a funny podcast, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is about low-level crimes. Like, you're not doing like the true crime like that's saturating the marketplace. You're doing supermarkets that are getting robbed or just petty crimes out there, and you're covering
the highly inappropriate sex acts in public places.
Oh, exactly. So you'd say like probably the pinnacle, like the top would be serial killers, mass murderers, that kind of stuff. I'm opposite, all the way at the bottom. More like breaking bylaws and stuff like that. You know, it's like debatable. Like the thing I found shocking was a lot of the people, like I end up liking the perpetrators just as much as the victims, really, right? Because they're people just like you and I who are maybe going through a rough day or they had too much to drink or a little bit of mental illness in there. But I mean, they're just regular people.
So how did you get the idea to cover the small petty crimes out there? Because I wouldn't even thought about it, because that's not necessarily what people are always into, but you do it in such a way that it pulls people in, and it's got quite a following already.
Yeah. Okay, well, originally, my brother has a podcast called Dark Topic, shout out. And he covers the hardcore murders and stuff, and he used to have me on his show as a guest occasionally. And I was like, yeah, I really like this, but there's so many podcasts out there. I need to think of something different. And it's kind of like, I kind of Google stuff like this to begin with. So it was nothing really new to me. And I thought, yeah, this would be like a good direction to go. So I just really rolled with it.
Does every episode have a recipe for a drink of choice, or was that something that you just integrate in particular episodes?
No, not really. I don't know. I just drink while I do it sometimes. So yeah, it's just kind of goes along with it.
We all can drink. It's a party.
Yeah, this is my wife's office I'm in right now, but I do all the recording from the comfort of my closet, right? So I always say, coming at you straight out of the closet. But like, yeah, I'm literally coming out of the closet because
I thought that was
that's where I record. Yeah, I got blankets all around there. It's a mess, really. But that's where I feel. I actually sit on a squatty potty. It's like my kids, they used it, it's like this far from the ground, right? It's super low to the ground, so it's a mess, but that's how I feel comfortable.
I'm laughing so hard because that's where I do my voiceovers, and I'm not on a squatty potty, but I'm like on one of those little stepping stools, so I'm imagining you doing like what I do in my closet, so that's why I'm laughing so hard.
What has been the funniest topic that you've discussed on your podcast or covered that is a crime that you're like, I can't even believe I'm recording this right now?
Okay, well, the second episode number 2, was the Mad Cooper. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that one.
Not yet.
But it was a female jogger in Colorado Springs. This was in the summer of 2017. So she targeted this one family's home numerous times, like 4 or 5 times a week for like a whole month. She would stop, pull down her pants, and take a dump on their front lawn. And like... There's a thing called runner's diarrhea, which is a real thing, right? Like it could happen. But this family, like they lived across the street from a park that had public washrooms. There was a gas station. Like, so she was targeting this place. They have kids. Like the kids came out, walked out, and see this lady with her spandex shorts down around her ankles, right? and she would bring paper towel with her and wipe herself and carry on. And this. So the woman, she called the cops, and they're like, can you get a photo? Like, there's nothing we can really do here. So she took a couple pictures of the woman, like it was going around the internet. and she was never caught. Like, she did it for about a month. I guess it got too hot for her, and she just took off.
Like, why were we? Or you? I would say like run the sprinklers when you know she's coming around, but she probably would just look at it like a large bidet. You know?
Yeah, you could shoot her with something. Yeah, I don't know, but
just squirt guns out there,
Squirt,
like a cat, like a little mister, like a shoot, get out of my yard.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, Charmin, you know the toilet paper company Charmin, they tweeted, they're like, if the Mad Pooper will turn herself in, we'll give her I don't know if it was a lifetime supply or a year supply of toilet paper to help out with her runs, they said in air quotes there.
Can you imagine, though, showing up to like Charmin headquarters and be like, I'm the one that's been pooping in everyone's yards.
I'm here for my tissue. You know why?
Yeah.
There's something about your Canadian accent that makes a story so much more charming, too. I love it. Where are you at in Canada?
I don't want to blow up my spot exactly, but I'm about an hour east of Toronto.
Okay.
So I don't even think of myself as having an accent, but yeah, all this weird stuff kind of comes. Same with people like, oh, I love your dad jokes. I'm like, dad jokes? What are you talking about? They're good jokes, aren't they?
They're Leroy jokes. But, you knock it off.
Yeah.
One of the things that you have in your podcast is you will actually read Yelp reviews of the location of where the crime was committed. How did you decide to do that? Because you were reading some of these Yelp reviews, and I was in tears laughing because of the way you're reading like hateful comments on Yelp about locations.
Yeah, I don't know. I get very sarcastic too, but I think the first time I was just trying to fill up time. I'm like, oh, this episode's only like 19 minutes. It took place somewhere. I'm like, oh, well, why not check out a couple of reviews and see how that goes? And now it's like my favorite part of the show. I'm looking up reviews like all the time. So yeah, that's how it happened. And I like to just make goofy voices and stuff. So I feel like it helps because I'm there by myself, right? I feel like I want to mix it up. So I do what I can to mix it up like that.
You started the podcast in 2020. Was it because of the pandemic, or was this something that you'd wanted to do for quite some time, and then the pandemic just afforded you more time and opportunity?
Yeah, I hate getting grouped in with the pandemic people. I'm hoping, I think like a lot of people, it'll kind of fade out, right? It's people with their buds. Like, hey,
I don't say that as a bad thing, right? Because you were constructive with the pandemic versus me. I gained 30 pounds. You know, I was not constructive. So
yeah, I also I work in a warehouse. I work midnights. Yeah, it's been business as usual with my actual job. So I don't have really extra spare time because of the pandemic or anything like that. Like it's always been, I've just been procrastinating. I had the idea for a few years, but it took me a while to pull the trigger on it. That's all.
That's awesome. And so Leroy, is there any podcast that you personally listen to that you could recommend to our audience, things that you're enjoying, that you're like, oh, this is great. Maybe it's an underground podcast that not a lot of people know about. Anything out there?
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I shouted at my brother a couple times. Dark Topic, Serial Killers. He's the best writer I know. He's amazing. There's also Heist podcasts. They cover a lot of heists. They're also a couple. There are a couple of Canadian.
Please tell me. Is it just called Heist?
Yeah, Heist. Yeah, HEIST podcast. And they're actually both the guys are Canadian, Matt and Simon, but they actually live in LA, which is kind of cool, right? So it's like a combination where you guys are at and where I'm at. So
this heist podcast, is it multiple heists or is it one long story about a single heist?
Like one per episode.
Oh,
so they cover different ones all the time.
Leash, do you watch Money Heist on Netflix?
No, but I heard it was amazing.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet either.
It is so good.
I got to get into that one.
All right, so I am in Heist Podcast. I'm checking it out. That is dope. All right. Well, Leroy, thank you for joining us, man. I really do appreciate it. I wish you much success and luck on your podcast, which you don't really need because it's already blowing up and doing really, really well.
Hey, there's always more room in the minivan to pile in more people. And I wish you guys all the success in the world. I know you're just getting started too. I know you shouldn't have a problem though. You guys are awesome.